What is going on, everybody? It is episode 902 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary, and we have incredible news to share with you. They're gone. They're dead. Whatever those were.
Dong, the chimney swifts are dead.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually a family of bats in there, in
Bummer.
the chimney behind Brett. It was a family of birds, and they are now gone.
Kaput.
And I think they're dead.
Yes.
Or they were at least close to dead when
Yes.
Raymond removed them, which, applause for that. I mean, I know I wouldn't have the stomach to do what he did for us, so now we can finally podcast in peace and quiet.
I haven't heard any sounds since they left.
It's so freeing.
It's so peaceful.
I feel like I have a new lease on life.
Can finish a thought now without having to worry about it being interrupted.
Well, anyway, we're joined today by Phil.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains, many anti-communist and counter-revolutionary. It is Thrashing Thursday, so how are you today?
Yes.
I think we're all doing pretty great.
Well, yeah, there's no bats, there's no birds, there's no nothing. So what you should do in celebration of that, guys, is hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please, what's up?
And if you've unsubscribed, resubscribe to
Yeah.
the channel.
I mean, no, that does happen.
That's
I
a
mean,
real
people
request.
get unsubscribed. I'm not going to say that YouTube's doing funny business, but it does happen. So check and make sure that you're
Yes.
still subscribed to the channel so that you can make sure to get notifications for every new live stream, every new segment. All of it is the best way to help out the channel is to do that, and then to share the content out with everybody so that you can spread the word.
Spread the good word
good word.
of Pop Culture Crisis.
Exactly. So what are we getting into today? We got a lot to talk about. Number one being, of course, that there was a breaking story right away when I got into work today, which is that Millie Bobby Brown put out a post today saying that her and her husband, Jake Bon Jovi, who's of course the son of John Bon Jovi, they have adopted a child. No further information was given. They just asked that they be allowed to raise their child in peace. And it's an interesting discussion because Millie Bobby Brown comes up a lot, given the fact that she got married young and she's kind of going against the grain as far as what they expect of young women in Hollywood. So we're going to have that discussion. We are also going to talk about Serena Williams, who is going viral. Because she lost 31 pounds on Ozempic, and people have all sorts of thoughts about that. There's apparently racial implications to this that people have opinions on.
Everything is racism. Racism.
Well,
Yay!
they're blaming her white husband for encouraging her to not be a thick baddie anymore.
So we're going to talk about that. Also, Ozempic's facing like a $2 billion lawsuit, so we're going to get into it. Also, we just not that long ago, we talked about All American Rejects and the return of the house party. Well, it's already been swallowed up by their corporate overlords because MGK is now apparently a poser pretending to put on house parties when really it's corporate backed by those soulless bastards in the upper office.
Lucian Grange is up there in the rafters pulling all the strings.
I'm not a fan of MGK's music. MGK as a person, he irritates me, and I don't make a big thing about this stuff. Like I don't make a huge deal about this stuff. I'm not one of those guys that goes off on tangents, but he drives me up a wall, and I want the guy to be a nice guy, and I don't want to be the guy that's a hater like this at all. I hate even articulating it, but for the purposes of this show, I'm going to bring it up. He drives me nuts.
I like to hear it. Honestly.
We had him in a recent Cringe of the Day, and he was, I think, on a stream with Aiden Ross and
really?
How did they even end up in the same room? Like,
I forget who the other guy was.
How does Aiden Ross end up in the same room as anyone?
He was streaming with some famous Twitch streamers, and they asked him about like his diet, I guess. And MGK was like, "I don't really do food like that. Like, I don't really eat food. It's just like I just eat." He's still talking in this stupid like rapper accent. He's like, "I just eat like kimchi and bone broth. Like, is good with the probiotics."
Someone in the chat goes, "He's just jelly. He has Megan Fox." He doesn't. That's part of what's annoying.
They broke
he fumbled the ball, homie. He fumbled the ball.
Yeah. Yep. Now they have an illegitimate child together.
Yep.
But yeah, he was like, "I just like put the kimchi in the bone broth and like cook the kimchi's like got a lot of good probiotics. I don't really do food like that. I just like smoke cigarettes and drink coffee. And like they were all like, oh, so you're like on that healthy shit, bro. Oh.
I want to smoke cigarettes too.
And I was like, yeah, it definitely looks like you live on broth and cigarettes. Like that's totally believable. But also he was just like, why would you pretend that you don't eat food? Like there's no way that's actually true on a daily basis.
Skinny.
He would be way skinnier than he actually like currently is if that were actually true. He was just trying to seem hard or something. Like
I think that when he says I don't do food like that, he means that he doesn't have like a nutrition plan and he doesn't eat like full meals. He
was
probably
literally
eats.
saying he doesn't eat.
Well, I mean,
He was trying to get them to believe that he only lives on bone broth and kimchi. And by the way, cooking the kimchi kills the probiotics. That's the whole point of fermenting food, is that it has the
Mary
good
was
bacteria.
taking notes. She's like, bone broth? Yeah.
You boil kimchi, it doesn't have probiotics anymore, dude. Did no one tell you that?
Nobody
no one has
told him
told him
that.
anything, and if
Well,
they
I
did,
guess-
he didn't listen.
You know, he's just such an intellectual. He basically levitates while he's writing his songs.
Okay. Well, we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you guys are ready, we can just go ahead. Mary, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Phil?
Let's go.
Recently, a deep-faked AI video of Senator Amy Klobuchar went viral, in which she is
She was
responding.
beating the crap out of her.
Not that. I wish it
people.
were that. I
Nope.
wish it were a video of her beating up her staffers. But it was her response
I had to ask Mary. I go, did she eat the salad with a comb, or did she comb her hair with a fork?
She infamously, according to a staffer, ate salad with a comb, and also, I forget what it is that she threw at her staffers. But yeah, that was a separate thing. In this video, she is responding to Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad campaign. But obviously, it's not real. It's just, I wish it were real.
I
so
wanted to
good.
talk about this on IRL last night. This would have been a fantastic thing to get everybody's intellectual opinion on.
Yeah.
Let's listen to what Miss Klobuchar had to say.
Look, all we're saying is that we want representation, okay? If Republicans are going to have beautiful girls with perfect titties in their ads, we want ads for Democrats too, you know? We want ugly, fat bitches wearing pink wigs and long-ass fake nails being loud and twerking on top of a cop car at a Waffle House because they didn't get extra ketchup, you know? Just because we're the party of ugly people doesn't mean we can't be featured in ads.
Where's the lie?
And I know most of us are too fat to wear jeans or too ugly to go outside, but we want representation.
Okay.
I
Where is the lie?
love the part where she just says, because they didn't get enough ketchup, you know? Like, it's so organic. It's a low-res video. If she were saying some totally banal statement in this video, I would not know better that it's deepfaked.
Yep.
It's only the dialogue they prepared for her that clues you in. And now Amy Klobuchar has discovered this video circulating online and had to clarify that this isn't real in an op-ed for the New York Times. She titled it, "I knew deepfakes were a problem. Then I saw one of myself."
See, that's such a self-important headline. It should have been like, I didn't realize how big of a problem AI was until my life was affected by it.
She said, "An AI-generated video that shows someone doing or saying something they never did can circle the globe and land in the phones of millions while the truth is still stuck in a landline. That's why it's urgent for Congress to immediately pass new laws to protect Americans by preventing their likeness from being used for harm. I learned that lesson in a visceral way over the last month when a fake video of me opining on all things the actress Sydney Sweeney's jeans went viral.
That's not what it was about.
That's when I heard my voice, but certainly not me, spewing a vulgar and absurd critique of an ad campaign for jeans featuring Sydney Sweeney. The AI deepfake featured me using the phrase perfect titties and lamenting that Democrats were too fat to wear jeans or too ugly to go outside.
I'm wondering if she's trying to tell me that she's never used the phrase perfect titties in her entire life. I think we should have her hooked up to a lie detector
She would have you
test.
believe.
She
would have
says
you believe.
she could tell that this deepfake video used footage from the actual hearing on deepfakes. That was the punchline. She said, "I could immediately tell that someone used footage from the hearing to make a deepfake. There was no getting around the fact that it looked and sounded very real." I wanted the video taken down or at least labeled digitally altered content. It was using my likeness to stoke controversy where it didn't exist. It had me saying vile things, and while I would like to think that most people would be able to recognize it as fake, some thought it was real. Studies have shown that people who see this type of content develop lasting negative views of the person in the video, even when they know it's fake. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's also in line with how people interact with fictional content. People hate an actor or actress based on the character they play in a TV show or a movie.
That is very true. That does happen all the time. It's not uncommon for people, especially people who are like really, really wrapped up into television shows and movies. Probably more so these days television shows than movies, because they spend so much time playing the character that people have an inability to see the difference between who they are as an actor and who they are in the role they're playing.
X refused to take down the video or label it as digitally altered content, even though its own policy says users are prohibited from sharing inauthentic content on X that may deceive people, including manipulated or out of context media that may result in widespread confusion on public issues. That policy sounds like it's worded in a way that's too broad, but it should have at least gotten a community note, right? Usually when something is an AI video, it does get a community note.
It should be community noted.
TikTok did take it down, and Meta labeled it as AI. However, X's response was that I should try to get a community note to say it was fake, something the company would not help add. For years, I've been going after the growing problem that Americans have extremely limited options to get unauthorized deepfakes taken down. She said, in July, it was revealed that an imposter had used AI to pretend to be Secretary of State Marco Rubio and contacted at least 3 foreign ministers, a member of Congress, and a governor. And this technology can turn the lives of just about anyone upside down. Someone used an AI to clone the voice of a high school principal in Maryland and create an audio of him making racist and anti-Semitic comments. I didn't even hear about that.
I forgot about that.
By the time the audio was proven to be fake, the principal had already been placed on administrative leave.
Yeah.
And families and students were left deeply hurt.
And it doesn't matter, because maybe 60% of the people, not even that, maybe 30% of the people will see the retraction or know that what they saw was fake. Everybody else will be vaguely thinking like, wasn't that the guy who said racist shit?
She also noted that at least 20 children have now died by suicide because of the threat of explicit images being shared without their consent using AI.
Yeah.
Those kind of things really do boil down to, in my opinion, they really do boil down to family. Like kids that commit suicide, I know that there are situations where kids can get bullied into it and stuff, but really, if you're in a situation where you have a loving family that you can talk to, I don't think those kids commit suicide, right? Like there's almost always extenuating factors in it.
Yes, of course, but that doesn't mean that without a precipitating factor that would have happened, you know?
Yeah.
That I hope that this can be a bipartisan issue. She did also mention that Trump signed a Take It Down Act, which Ted Cruz also pushed to create legal protections for victims when intimate images, including deepfakes, are shared without consent.
Well, the politicians don't want to see deepfakes get worse than they are now anyways, because it can make them look bad.
Right.
And again,
whether they like it or not.
Well, the funny thing about it, the sad thing about it is like what you're seeing here is the most extreme example, but the most dangerous version of it is when they keep it on just to the south of real. So it's not going to be about Sydney Sweeney's titties. It's going to be about some policy that they don't actually agree with, where they're going to make a reasonable argument that you could believe that a reasonable politician, if such a thing even exists, might say that isn't actually something that they believe. And that can go a long way in kind of setting them back as far as getting bills passed. And that's what they're worried about, I'm guessing, more than anything. And if you don't believe that the CIA is already doing this stuff to topple governments in foreign countries, you are so wrong.
Yeah, if they had generated footage of Amy Klobuchar making some political statement, perhaps, about war, like I would have still been in...
She's like, I'm
confusion.
I'm Maha now.
I wouldn't actually know that it's fake. And it probably wouldn't have reached the same amount of
I
people.
don't think
but
you can even regulate this. I don't know how you do it. Like outside of just incredibly harsh punishments if you get caught that are so bad that it prevents you from even trying, but that's not going to work.
Right. I mean, you could sue someone for defamation if they're obviously maliciously creating content of you saying something that damages your reputation or your career. That's clear defamation, right?
I mean, for the politicians and the celebrities, though, that's unbelievably hard to prove, right?
Yeah.
Like the threshold is much higher for celebrities.
And who knows if you can even find the person or entity that generated it in the first place.
Assuming it's not a bot farm in India.
That's what we were talking about yesterday with all of the AI nightmare fuel that children are watching on YouTube. We don't know who or what company is generating and posting it, and there's probably many. And we theorized it could be related to the CCP. I also saw recently there was like a PSA basically about this online, like basically terror ring that is targeting children, where they try to blackmail them into harming themselves on camera. And
why? Just literally for the sake of terrorism?
For views?
For views?
I mean, because they're evil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I forget the name of the organization. The guy who started it has already been indicted and he's in prison, but it's still going because it's online, and all of the people in it are anonymous.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. Yeah, and it's I mean, we had this discussion last night. We talked about AI. We didn't talk about deepfake specifically, but we talked about AI, and Phil was talking about all of the good things that AI could do for us one day, and unfortunately, with the good things that could come, you're going to get stuff like, not that I consider like politicians having to deal with crap like this all that bad.
I
but
wasn't actually talking about the good things. I was noting how everybody around here is very critical and very skeptical, and anytime you talk about technology, almost everybody here is like so focused on the negatives.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I do admit that like I believe that the internet should have stopped at like phone in your pocket. Like before we got the internet in our pocket was where we should have ended the internet.
We have a 20 from Jose Quintana. Good afternoon, Brett, Empress, and Anti-Communist. I just saw Eden. Great cast, true tension, and Sydney Sweeney is a treasure, virtually unrecognizable in a great role. It reminded me of the Gongo. Long live PCC.
Are you going to see Americana? That's the one she has out right now, right?
I hadn't even heard about Eden.
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney, she's on the way up.
I also want to say,
both.
This is why I was very relieved to find out that they did not sneak the AI regulation moratorium into the BBB, the Big Beautiful Bill.
The Better Business Bureau?
I did not want that in there. And I'm really relieved that it didn't make it through.
Well,
because it does need to be legislated on.
Is Amy Klobuchar going to run for president next time around? Is that a possibility? She tried last time, right?
That's not going to work out for her.
She tried last time. She's like throw forks at people.
She was in there. Yeah.
Okay.
She threw her hat in the ring.
All right. Well, thank you for all of your advice on what new ad campaigns to run, Miss Klobuchar. We appreciate it. All right. Let's move on.
Cracker Barrel and all it represents for American culture is being stripped of its identity by new leadership. They have a new CEO. Her name is Julie Fels Messino, and people are basically blaming her for stripping the Cracker Barrel logo and making it minimalist. That's the first thing she did.
Well, here we go.
We have the before and after image. They took the barrel out of the logo for Cracker Barrel and also the old country store.
They need to put the guy up there in like one of those memes of like the gates of heaven with Uncle Ben and with Aunt Jemima and the Land O'Lakes lady. Like, they're all going away. Nobody's allowed to have any logos anymore. You just have boring texts on a boring background with a font nobody wants.
Now, I don't know whether to believe the claims that Julia Fels Messino is somehow woke and has done this for political reasons. I think this is just an example of an out-of-touch CEO that didn't realize her decisions were going to get so much blowback. She's also ordered the redesign of every interior in Cracker Barrel restaurants.
Let's watch the video.
So it used to be rustic with like open exposed brick and lots of ornamentation on the walls. Now it's just bleak gray, minimalist design.
There's a picture from an old Cracker Barrel, you know, back in its heyday. Now you can see it's just...
The lighting is awful.
It's too well lit.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that well lit.
It's terrible.
It looks like the Brooklyn barbecue.
I want to throw up. It's awful.
Yeah. So she went on Good Morning America to explain the reasoning behind her decisions and how excited she is about all these new changes she's bringing to the corporation. And her glasses really explain everything you need to know about this person.
It's that, like, her physiognomy and her fashion choice, just, you know.
It's really the glasses, though. The glasses say everything you need to know about Julia.
Here we go.
I think I probably know the answer. What if all the customers are coming at you hard enough about the look of the restaurant and they want to go back to the old way? Would you do it?
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members.
No, it's not. You're gaslighting everyone.
Well, it's her job. Her job as a CEO is to lie and pretend like everything's fine. But look, I could 100% believe that managers or employees who don't really care about what the soul of what Cracker Barrel means for the soul of America, because it's their job. Like, I could buy that they want the remodel because they think it would be good for their job, but I don't think they're thinking about the cultural implications about what the customers would want.
I put in the DMs and Slack between the three of us for the show. I put the know your meme of the Brooklyn barbecue taking over. This is the barbecue that you would get at the newly redesigned Cracker Barrel. If you look at it, like, that's exactly.
Oh wow!
It's exactly what you would imagine. Yeah. It really kind of like the spark. Like, if you go to get real barbecue, you get a plate full of food. There's actually some substance there. It's much more attractive than this, and that's the kind of like the. I hate to use this phrase, but like the commodification of like Cracker Barrel, even though it was already, you know, hugely capitalist, right? There's the
publicly
store.
traded company.
Yeah, there's the store, but it's like that kind of, I don't know, the minimalist attitude in the design. It makes me think this is what the food would be like.
So, Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Fels-Messino's decision to decolonize the company, starting by removing the old-fashioned country gentleman meant to evoke nostalgia and Americana from the logo, is hammering the stock, wiping out $250 million in value since she became CEO. The stock is down 34%, erasing $587 million in value.
Yeah, I don't know
I love the handy infographic.
I don't know if I agree with the take that just because she's the CEO, her job is to deny reality. I think it would be smarter for her to wait, watch the response, and then respond to it honestly.
I'm saying in the moment in that show, it's not her job to say that she's going to second guess a decision that she's made. Like, she's being asked a question on live TV. It's not her job to be like, well, if they don't like it, we'll just go back. That's not how it works.
Well, that's not what I mean. I just mean you don't have to sit there and say that the response from customers is overwhelmingly positive, because that's objectively not true, and it just sinks your public image even further down.
On an earnings call, that's true. Like when you're talking to investors and the people that invest in your company. But on a press junket, it's absolutely her job to deny reality and pretend like everything's going great.
Let's watch the rest of that interview.
All right, here we go.
They want to work in a wonderful restaurant, so we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Well, Julie Messino, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to be
here.
here. Thank you again.
Answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Robin?
That was so awkward.
Yeah.
Read the room.
I believe that like if she's on an earnings call, like when the quarter comes, the fiscal quarter comes to an end, and they're like, why are these what are we going to do about these changes? They're not having the impact we thought it would on business. Stock is down because there's no confidence in the company. People aren't coming in as much. Then it's her job to kind of say like, look, we're gonna read the room. We're going to see what the landscape says, and we'll go forward and make whatever changes we need to. But when Good Morning America asks, you're like, no, everybody loves it. This is fantastic. What, are you kidding me?
Well,
do you think that guy goes to Cracker Barrel? I don't think that guy goes to Cracker Barrel. That's just my guess.
This is probably the biggest blunder that she's made in her career so far, which is a very long career in restaurants and retail. I looked further into her background. She was previously the president of Taco Bell. So
she's the reason that it's $10,000 a trip to go there.
No, Taco Bell is still the most affordable fast food, I'm pretty sure.
It's all so expensive
In
these days.
January of 2018, she joined Taco Bell International, and the very next month, their then CEO, Brian Niccol, stepped down as CEO. She took over. And
maybe she'll go over to Target next. They're about to be down a CEO. Oh no, they already named their successor. Never mind.
She was responsible for bringing new concepts like the Taco Bell Hotel and like making influencers promote the brand and the Taco Bell Cantina concept.
Did like the cantina. I mean, I regret not going to the cantina when we were in LA.
They say she fueled teams to launch innovative products like the nacho fries. This chick is responsible for nacho fries. She's had some wins.
How bad could she be?
She's had some wins in her career, okay? She was also previously at Mattel before Taco Bell, where she was the senior VP and general manager of the Fisher-Price division. Before that, she was the CEO of Sprinkles Cupcakes. Before that, she was in senior leadership roles for 13 years at Starbucks. She also worked for Godiva, Macy's, J. Crew, and Coach.
I have not thought of Godiva in a very long time.
Yeah, maybe that's her fault. I don't know whether to believe that this chick like woke-ified Cracker Barrel, or if these initiatives were already active before she came along and took over.
Okay, so there was that. So there was all the discussion about Cracker Barrel getting involved with LGBTQIA+ alliance groups.
Did they?
Neuroverse Collective, which I'm guessing is something to do with neurodivergency and stuff like that. It says, this is from someone named Sean Davis. He says, you know what people who go to Cracker Barrel want? Comfort food served in a place that reminds them of a simpler time when people worked with their hands, prayed before every meal, and never felt the need to lock their doors. That's it. That's what the brand used to represent. And these woke clowns are deliberately destroying it because they hated America. They hate the people who built America, and they hate the people who want to return to that America. And then he points out here, CEO and leadership clearly hate the company and their customers, see their mission as re-educating them with principles of gay race communism.
Okay, but they had already engaged in all of these diversity initiatives before Julie was the CEO.
I'm guessing they probably did, given the fact that they were a publicly traded company, and especially during 2020, it would have been seen as beneficial to do that.
Their previous CEO before Julie was named Sandra B. Cochran, who served as the CEO and president until August of 2023.
Yeah.
And then was succeeded by Julie Fels-Massino. But yeah, during peak woke, she wasn't running the company. They also had a mission called Be Bold to cultivate and develop black leaders within the Cracker Barrel organization, utilizing allyship, mentorship, and education. And then they also had a mission called Hola, to promote Hispanic and Latino culture through hiring, developing, and retaining talent within Cracker Barrel, to create a culture of inclusivity and awareness through community outreach.
I'm torn. On one hand, it's the weird DEI programs. On the other hand, it's promoting from within.
Yeah.
I did see a couple of takes that I thought, as soon as this story broke, I knew we were going to get the Twitter poets and the ones who wax philosophical about what everything means. And I found some of the more banal, like the less, I saw some paragraphs, dude. I saw some I saw some theses, if you will.
Theses.
This one from a woman named Mary Catherine Ham says, this seems like almost intentional sabotage. No one wants a minimalist Cracker Barrel. We want hoarders, Southern Grandma edition. If it doesn't look like Meemaw and Peepaws with the only concession to modernity is removing ashtrays, I'm out.
You know what? Bring back smoking inside a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
You know, there's only like 11% of the population that smokes now.
Wow.
It's very, very few people smoke.
A lot of people attribute that to Hollywood because they had the anti-smoking campaigns once the 90s came around, and it was supposed to be promoted as uncool to smoke.
It's still insanely cool, but cancer is the worst.
Cancer isn't cool.
No, cancer is insanely not
Smoking was most common in the mid-1960s, with more than 40% of the U.S. adult population smoking cigarettes.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, here's one.
Oof.
Okay. I mean, the minimalized aesthetic of
it's everywhere.
Logos was way like that predated Cracker Barrel by a long time. And everyone was doing it.
Whenever look at McDonald's now. It looks like a corporate office. And I point out, like whenever we go back to Michigan to see Olivia's family, there's a steak, like a Shake Shack there. It looks like a CPA office. It's the most boring. It shouldn't look that way. Like these restaurants should have personality.
Was Cracker Barrel really that near and dear to the American heart? I don't know. I think it is representative. I like Cracker Barrel, I do, but I didn't feel like personally injured by their decision to change their design.
I think that the logo probably was one of those things that even people who didn't go there drove by a sign enough where it represented a different time. So I used to live right by a Cracker Barrel, oddly enough, where I grew up in Woodbury. And I think we went there maybe once or twice. But you drove by the sign all the time. And when that one eventually went out of business, it was actually kind of depressing, even though it's my fault. I didn't go there.
What's next? They're going to get rid of the rocking chairs and the big checkerboards
They
outside on the porch?
They already changed the peg.
Winners and losers, so you can't have games like that.
Checkers isn't inclusive enough.
That's
well,
right.
they already did. They changed the pegboard, the game.
Why?
So Cracker Barrel didn't just destroy its logo and restaurant vibe. It also
What?
changed the peg game to make dumb people feel better when they do poorly.
Seriously? Wait, what's the
So
new
it says
one?
jump all but one game. Jump each T and remove it. Leave 1, you're a genius. Leave 2, then you're pretty smart. Leave 3 and you're just plain dumb. Leave 4 and you're a moron. Just plain I can't even read the rest of that. It's
Okay, that's the old one.
And then this one just says leave 1, you're a genius. Leave 2, rocking chair but not the game. Leave 3 or more, no reason to be embarrassed. Try again. Wah, wah, wah.
That's actually the most insane part of the rebrand.
Like
Changing the text on the pegboard.
They're gonna get rid of the checkers boards because there is a winner and a loser in a game of checkers.
No,
They are
Hunter
going
Biden being the old country.
The
man.
Crack Barrel.
What's next? I mean, they got rid of the barrel from the logo. Are they just going to call it Cracker now?
Yeah.
It's just
no,
Cracker.
it'd just be Barrel.
Man.
It's sad.
It is sad. It is sad.
And I don't just say that because me and Olivia specifically love to go to Cracker Barrel.
And you know what? I'll just say it is woke. It is woke that, everything has to be ugly and minimalist and postmodern now. That has been going on for decades.
She studied brutalist architecture and thought we can bring that
Yeah, it is. It's brutalism, and it does. Thank you.
They're not standing on business at the Cracker Barrel. They're not. Like, what if she just stood on business? We wouldn't be in this position.
There just used to be subtle artistic flourishes in just about everything you interact with in public life. Even a lamppost or a railing or a bridge or I don't know, a door frame. Everything was more ornate decades past, and that's since been completely stripped down to brutalism, and it does steal something from the human soul. And yeah, it's, for lack of a better word, woke.
There was like a historical building in the town that we live in that burnt down a couple years ago, and they've finally gotten around to like rebuilding it, and it's just modern. And
Yep.
Yeah, it's a bummer. All right, let's move on. What would you like to see, cringe or cue to the day?
Let's see cringe
Thank you.
first.
Cringe would always
We
come
have
first.
some Labubu unboxing cringe.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Camera. Ready, set, go. Go.
So you don't know which one you're getting when you buy it. Huh?
Yeah.
So soft. Feel how soft it is. I haven't even opened my eyes yet. I still have.
It feels so performative and fake. It's like reaction YouTubers. It's like, yeah, I'm sure you've never listened to Aerosmith before.
When it's kids that do that stuff, like actual kids, I'm like, all right, kids get excited, you know, cool.
No, these are all.
Come on.
I'm pretty sure the majority of Labubu customers are adults.
Yeah.
And yeah, they don't know what edition of Labubu is going to be in the package. That's why it's sort of soft gambling.
Yeah.
That's why they have such a market share now, because people are just spending all of their disposable income on these ugly dolls.
Because they're never going to own a house. That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Late stage capitalism and all that.
It's all the late stage. And white capitalism. All right, cue to the day. I saved this one for after Mocha because the kitty kind of has Mocha vibes with the tongue being out. This one is from Jiggle With Me on X. Says, this is Monty. Sometimes she gives up mid-mwem.
Aww. She's so cute. Yeah, you could have told me that was Mocha, and I
would have believed it.
I wouldn't know.
I would have believed it. It's very cute. All right, guys, if you want to submit your pets for Cue to the Day, I know you want to brag about them. Please send them to me on X at Brett Dasovic. Use the hashtag PCCPets. Pictures, not videos, please. Thank you, guys.
Millie Bobby Brown got married in March of 2024 to her husband, Jake Bon Jovi. That is Bon Jovi's son. And just today actually, she posted on Instagram about their first child that they have adopted together. This summer, we welcomed our sweet baby girl through adoption. We are beyond excited to embark on this beautiful next chapter of parenthood in both peace and privacy. And then there were 3, Love, Millie, and Jake Bon Jovi. So they did not post any pictures of the child. They have not revealed the name of their daughter either. And
Millie Bobby Bon Jovi actually kind of has a ring to it.
I don't think she took his name, though. Maybe she did, and she's just going to keep going by her stage name. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time they take the name in private, but they still use their stage name in acting.
My first reaction to this, and I hope this...
We missed a 20.
What?
Ruh-roh.
From Pop Culture Junkie.
Do you have it?
Says, being a Cracker Barrel stockholder, the store changes were supposed to deal with their customer base skewing older and simply dying off. The store redesign was an attempt to get younger customers. She went too far.
Well,
true.
Okay. Yeah, I see that, but I don't think young people are interested in whatever she just did either.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. Also, she's a boomer, so how would she know what young people are interested in?
Was she a boomer? She looks like she'd probably be Gen X.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, maybe.
Continue.
My first reaction to this announcement, though, was, why did she adopt? Like, why didn't she have a child naturally? And I don't want this to seem insensitive, because my first thought was maybe she realized that she had struggles with fertility, which is incredibly common these days, sadly, even among young people. And it's a kind of a public health crisis. And I also considered that she might have elected to adopt even though she doesn't have any health problems that would prevent her from having a child naturally, because of her line of work as an actress. And getting pregnant would definitely put a halt to her career, which is thriving right now.
At the very least, yeah. So she's doing, from what I've seen, other than Stranger Things, a lot of, Netflix movies. She did the Enola Holmes movie.
Yeah.
She did Electric State. Now, if you're like on a television show, like Gillian Anderson when she was on the X-Files, they can write around it and they can put her in the frumpy overcoats, and not every scene needs to be a wide shot. And there's a way, when you're doing 24 episodes of a show, that you can write around a pregnancy. It's a lot easier. And even then, it's like it was not the path most wanted to. It was Chris Carter on the X-Files was famous for being very supportive of Gillian when she was having kids. But for an actress who's doing Enola Holmes it's not an action movie, but it's kind of in the subgenre. So is Electric State. They need full body shots. She doesn't have the time. The shooting windows are smaller. It takes a large chunk of money off the table, especially when she's working with Netflix, who pays really, really well.
She's also still in all of her major roles playing teenagers. Even though she's 22, she's playing a teenager in Stranger Things and Electric State and Enola Holmes. She's playing teenagers. So practically, she literally cannot play those characters or take those roles going forward if she were to have children naturally, and she's pregnant during filming. And she's also going to get offered less roles if she chooses to have children naturally. So I think both could be possible, but it reminded me of Megan Fox's career because there were a lot of rumors that Megan Fox got blacklisted when she was still a younger actress, and it was partly due to her contentious relationship with Michael Bay, but also because she chose to start having kids at a relatively young age, and that was when she got married to Brian Austin Green. She had, I believe, 3 kids basically in a row. Yeah. And
when was that? Like, what year was that? Do you remember?
I don't remember the year that she started having kids.
It was like the early 2010s?
I believe so.
2013 or something like that?
I believe so, yeah. And she sat down with Diablo Cody several years ago to basically do a retrospective on Jennifer's body and basically like, why did this movie flop and now everyone loves it again? And that came up, her halt in her career due to having kids. And she said something that stuck with me. She said pregnancy is treated like leprosy in Hollywood. And this is basically...
Is that a good enough reason to not have a kid, though?
Well, she did anyway, but she was open about the fact that she did receive a lot of negative feedback for doing so.
I'm sorry, but in the chat, Gabe says, doesn't everybody hate Michael Bay? There will be no Michael Bay slander on this podcast. No. Okay, we can continue. I'm sorry.
Okay, here's what she said in that interview.
Here we go.
I get this all the time. People will be like, you just don't really work that much. Like, journalists will be like, it's nice to see you in a movie because you don't really work that much. And it's like, I've gestated and given birth to 3 children. I starred in a movie that opened worldwide #1 twice. I was on a critically acclaimed sitcom. I executive produced and created a show about archaeological controversies. How much more productive does a woman need to be? You. And I'm in an industry that treats pregnancy like leprosy, so it's not like I can keep working once I'm past 5 months. I have to just do nothing. It is what it is, and that's so frustrating for me because it's like when you're in Oscar realm or when you're in this like huge blockbuster place and you're a pinup or whatever you want to call me, it's like everything you do after that needs to be on the same level.
Right, because you've had a moment of ubiquity.
Or you're failing.
Yes.
And it doesn't work that way. How about cut us a break, especially as women who are creating life as well as working. You can't expect me to be putting out the same kind of things at the same kind of pace, which I was never really an ambitious overworker, but as when
Michael Bay would agree.
was a kid and had no children and wasn't married and had a different life. So for me, that's really annoying and very frustrating because it's like, how can you start off here, which we both did, and so then if your next project is here, which is still miles above where most people ever make it, you're still,
Well, I knew I was from the beginning because I won an Oscar for my first screenplay.
Yeah.
So everybody says, "Oh, how many are you going to win?" I was like, "1." Like, this is it. You really think I'm going to win another Oscar? Like, that doesn't happen to people. I'm thrilled to have one. I look at it every day, but I've never been in a place where I think to myself, like, okay, I need to sustain that level of success, because how could you?
Yeah.
And also, like, I had 3 kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it, because like there are people will hit up, like, be trying to like dog me out on Twitter, and they're like, you haven't done anything and blah 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 blah, and it's like, well, we've been releasing records. It's like, how many bands do you know go platinum? Right? Like, how many people do you actually talk to on the internet that have platinum records? How many have gold records? Right? And it's like the idea that you have to keep putting out, or you have to keep achieving things and not have other aspects of a life is insane. But that's the way that people kind of behave. It's like, if this is what you do, or this is what they know you for, this is the only thing you do, and anything that you're not doing, or anything you're doing that isn't this, isn't valid, and it shows that you have somehow degraded yourself, or you're not worth what you used to be. And this is coming from people that will never do the things that you've done. You know what I mean?
Right.
It felt, look, there are male actors who get those questions too when they're not in the spotlight for a while. Like Josh Hartnett left for a long time and stopped doing like mainstream Hollywood productions. He wasn't a fan of the culture in Hollywood. He has since come back, and they ask him that question all the time.
What was his reasoning for stepping back?
I don't.
Did he say?
I thought it was just like he didn't like the culture around the big budget movies. Somebody could find an article about him talking about it. The point was, it was his choice. He was at the time when he left, he was a rising star. I always remember that because he's from Minnesota, so it was like one of those actors where he made it big in the industry, and then he was just kind of gone, and he was only doing independent films for a long time. So they'll get that question. It's literally the interviewer's job to ask you those questions.
Right.
She's like, I'm like, they're doing their jobs. Like, likely their executive producer asked them to ask you those questions because it is something of interest to them. But they made it a gender issue here. Like, she made it a gender issue, and I understand that it is to an extent.
Well,
but
the fact that women get pregnant is a gender issue.
But she's saying that she's saying that she's getting those questions because she's a woman. No, you're getting those questions because you're not as visible as you used to be for a reason that happens to be because you're a woman, not because the interviewer, who's likely either a woman or a gay man, is like asking you perfectly reasonable questions about why you're not in the spotlight as much as you were before.
Right.
It's a point of interest.
Well, Megan Fox obviously chose to make that sacrifice to her career, to have children pretty much back to back for several years, and it did hurt her career. That's true. And I thought, it's possible that Millie Bobby Brown had to contend with that decision once she got married, and perhaps, like many celebrities, chose to adopt instead of having children naturally. And the way things go generally for actresses is they tend to either stay single till later in their late 30s or early 40s, or they have divorces back to back, and usually they have a first pregnancy via IVF in their late 30s or early 40s. And it's something that they always planned on, but it's like the time got away from them, or they had to wait because they had to make their money early on when they're the most bankable. And it's not really something that's right or wrong. It's just baked into the way that industry operates.
Josh Hartnett said that there was like heavy stalking cases, and that he didn't like the demands of the industry or the attention. But last week we talked about the David Justice. Well, you were gone. We talked about the David Justice and the Halle Berry thing. Because when they got married, he was the more famous person because he was already a very, very well-known baseball player at that time. And after they got divorced, he got married to literally the next year, and he's been married now for 24 years. And they have like 4 kids or 3 kids or something like that. She's had 3 kids as well, or 2 or 3 kids. She had her first kid at 41.
Wow. And having 2 or 3 in your 40s is quite something.
And she's talked extensively that she loves motherhood and she thinks it's an amazing thing, but she didn't have her first kid until she was in her 40s.
Yeah. And generally, even without health reasons, a lot of celebrities opt for IVF and surrogacy. I just find it interesting is all. And I don't want to dig any further because obviously she's asking for privacy and it could be for a really painful reason that they chose to adopt. But it is interesting.
Yep, it is. All right, let's do some super chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, happy Thrashing Thursday, Brett, Mary, and Phil. Tate went off on the Cracker Barrel changes. I'm with him. This is a travesty. We need a new crusade. Let's make Cracker Barrel Catholic Barrel.
Look, everyone, look, Shane, we talked about this the other night. The new crusade is first we invade and liberate the UK, then we round up the boys, and we head to Jerusalem. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, I'm for it.
We're not
invading the UK would be a hell of a.
We will be greeted as liberators.
I want, you know how Mark Wahlberg has Wahlburger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should just buy out Red Robin. And Red Robin did the same thing, by the way, where they took all the ornaments off the wall. It used to be a place where it was like a bunch
I went for the first time this year. I went to Red Robin for the very first time ever this year. Really? It was meh. I got pizza.
They still have some stuff on the walls. It's just not to the level that it used to be because they stripped it down like everywhere else did. But I think Mark Wahlberg should buy out Red Robin and make it Catholic, where there's just like Catholic icons all over the walls instead of baseball
Instead
merch.
of Good Burger, you have God Burger.
God Burger.
The wall. So when
there is Burgatory.
Yeah, Burgatory. Burgatory is a real place.
That's a thing.
I've been to Burgatory.
When we go to the Mall of America, when I go back home to visit, there's a Wahlburger in there, and it's always busy. And I'm like,
I've been to a Wahlburger.
Who the hell goes to Wahlburger?
It was
Never
pretty
been
good,
to a Wahlburger.
from what I recall. Although I went there when I was a vegan, so I don't know what I ate.
You were a vegan.
Idea. I was a vegan eating at Wahlburger.
Just the fact that you were a vegan at one point is hilarious.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I've
no
mentioned
idea.
that. Yeah,
I didn't. I was not aware.
I think that's
that
funny. You
is
should see the
hilarious.
picture of her with Blair White.
Oh yeah, that I was still vegan when I took that picture.
Were you vegan when you worked here?
No.
Oh.
I was vegan from age 14 to 19, and
for health reasons.
It wasn't for health reasons,
but it was for the other reasons.
It was a time.
It's because animals are cute.
No, it was really just I felt like, and I still feel this way. I feel like we shouldn't be so alienated from the source of our foods. And it was like kind of faux intellectual for me. But I felt like, if we are eating animals, which I don't think is intrinsically wrong, we should kill them. And I do believe that, but it's just not the way society works. And if we had to survive that way, like everyone would die.
Did somebody offer you, like, we'll take you hunting and you can eat the heart of the first deer you kill?
That would be pretty cool. I would do that now. Corey Anderson said, why are they called fingers when we've never seen them fing? Shane H. Wilder said, because the word finger finds its roots in the German word fünf, which means 5. The Latin would be digiti manus. Interesting. We're having a very intellectual discussion in the chat.
Let's do 2 more.
Blight Bulb said, just got caught up on this week of PCC at work, ready to enjoy THRASHIN Thursday live.
Is that like for Pretzels?
Yeah, it's for Pretzel enjoyers.
Do 1 more.
Corey Anderson said, rich people buying children and today ends in Y. To be fair, they did not clarify that it was via surrogacy, it was by adoption.
Yeah.
Which again, if you're a celebrity using surrogacy, why the hell wouldn't you just adopt? Why? It's really kind of psychotic when you think about it. Adam said he should stick to acting, and that's not even great.
Who's he?
Who? Mark Wahlberg?
I don't know.
No, that was like way earlier, so I don't know what we were talking about.
Who we're talking about in that case? Me? Yeah, you're probably right. All right, let's move on.
Okay. So, a lot of fans of Serena Williams have recently noticed a dramatic drop in weight. She has now revealed that is due to her using Ozempic. But it's a specific brand of Ozempic that is called Ro, and she is now one of their ambassadors. She just announced on an episode of The Today Show that she lost 31 pounds using the GLP-1 medication. And the before and after is crazy. This is her promotional image for Ro that you just showed, where she's sticking the syringe in her arm And this
I like
is,
how they had to find like a sexy pose
right.
for your semaglutide injection.
Right.
They're like, can you like put the arm up? And
Was she actually like a heavy girl?
No.
I was always under the impression that it was muscle.
She was very muscular. She just had some fat over her muscle. She was never what I saw as like overweight.
No,
but
me neither.
this is the
I always thought
before
she
and
was kinda
after
jacked.
here. The before and after makes her look sickly. She really does look kind of sickly in that first image. That is the after image. Doesn't help that her hair is this like scraggly blonde weave.
Like, and it looks unhealthy. The hair looks unhealthy, and one of the things they talk about a lot with Ozempic is like everything else. Like, sure, you're thin, but literally everything else goes
falling
down.
apart.
Your teeth are falling out. Your hair's falling out.
I
Your
heard
cheeks
the,
are getting
the
hollow.
phrase Ozempic vagina.
Yeah.
There is such a thing
Yep.
as Ozempic vulva. Yes.
Don't want to know.
Yep.
Don't
Yeah.
want to know about that. Don't want to know.
There was Ozempic for the men too, and then the joke was
Ozempic
like, "It's
penis.
just mean like their gut is gone and they can see it again finally."
There's Ozempic ass, Ozempic feet, Ozempic
Ozempic
mouth. I mean, Ozempic teeth. It just, the list goes on and on. That isn't her real hair, by the way, but a lot of her fans did suspect she was on Ozempic, and she confirmed those rumors. A lot of people also blamed the influence of her husband, who is white. They believe that he influenced her to lose the extra weight because he prefers that.
I mean, I think she's just entering a different phase of her career now. And she wants her look to be different because she's no longer going to be an athlete. She's going to be some type of, I guess, not just influencer, but you know, they always pivot into Hollywood adjacent and things like that. Was she the one that was on the stage dancing at the Super Bowl? Was
Yes,
that her
she
or
was.
her sister?
She was doing the Crip Walk.
Mary
during
didn't know that
Kendrick
Venus
Lamar.
Williams was a thing. She's like, I didn't even know there was a Venus Williams.
No, I didn't know. The CEO and co-founder of Ro, this Ozempic brand, which I get ads for all the time, by the way,
Do you?
said Serena Williams is our newest ambassador. She's sharing her weight loss story to inspire others.
It's always a story or a
This is
journey.
crazy. He's trying to use this story, by the way, to counteract the regular narrative that people who use Ozempic don't have the willpower to lose weight naturally. He said because she's an athlete, she has more willpower than most people on the planet and is the perfect example that weight is not just a matter of diet and exercise. While she's one of one on the court, Serena's weight loss journey looked a lot like the experiences of so many of our patients. She trained, she ate well, she did everything right. Her body still needed more support. That's why she turned to Ro to pair her routine with GLP-1 treatment and our high-quality clinical care and ongoing support. In sharing her story, Serena is once again redefining strength, including using medication to take control of your health.
They are so that the world of advertising in this country is so good at weasel words. It's not even funny.
Actually,
Is it really about health or is it just about weight? Because
it's not about health.
Yeah,
she was already healthy.
Right, exactly. It was an aesthetic
She was a
choice.
pro athlete.
I just sent you the link to her ad that she recorded for Ro. It doesn't have more than 300 views at this point on YouTube, which might speak to the the futility of celebrity endorsements, but here's what she said in her ad.
Well, I mean, their channel only has 100. It was posted 7 hours ago. They
Yeah.
only got 1.6K, so
Yeah.
1.26K.
After I had my kids, I hit a wall I'd never encountered before. I was doing everything right, working out, eating clean, following the plan, but my body wasn't responding the way it used to. I knew my body was missing something it needed. For me, the answer was GLP-1s. The answer was Ro. Just like I always have, I'm making informed decisions for my health and my body. I'm using Ro to manage my weight. If you're on GLP-1s too, don't let anyone tell you it's the easy way out. You're not taking a shortcut. You're taking care of yourself. And that takes courage.
That's the whole branding. The whole branding is to convince you that it's not a shortcut, that you're just doing it for your own health.
That is a really disturbing script that they wrote for her.
Somebody in advertising knew right away. They said, we've got one hurdle here. It's to convince people that it's not a shortcut.
Right.
That you're just doing the right thing for your body.
Right, and that even Serena Williams, this physical powerhouse, an athlete, a professional athlete who is known for that, didn't have a willpower problem.
Yeah.
she needed this drug, you know, and that gives you the loophole that you need to see this as acceptable for you. Another celebrity who recently spoke about her experience with Ozempic is Chelsea Handler. And the crazy part of her story is that a doctor prescribed her Ozempic without telling her that it was Ozempic. And she just injected herself with it thoughtlessly, had no idea what it was, because I guess this is just what old people do. They just like trust doctors and like don't question it at all. If they're prescribed a medication, they just take it. They just love drugs. So this was something that she talked about on the Call Her Daddy podcast. She said, "My anti-aging doctor just hands Ozempic out to anybody. She said, if you ever want to drop 5 pounds, this is good." And she says that she gave herself a dose on vacation. And this is a video of her explaining what happened. She was with a friend who was also on Ozempic knowingly. And her friend was like, "Bro, like, you're on Ozempic. You didn't know that?"
All right, here we go.
Go to lunch with my friend and she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to eat anything. I'm on Ozempic." And I was like, "Yeah, everyone's on Ozempic." And she goes, "I'm nauseous." And I'm like, "Really?" And I go, "I'm kind of nauseous." And then she's like, "Are you on Ozempic?" I said, "No, I'm not on Ozempic." And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm on semaglutide." She's like, "That's Ozempic." So I was on it for, I think, a week. I realized that's what was making me nauseous. But yeah, the whole town is on Ozempic. My doctor had given it to me a while ago and said, "Oh, if you ever want to lose a couple pounds in a week, this is what it is." But I didn't make the connection that Ozempic and semaglutide were the same thing. I'm not asking enough questions of a doctor, frankly. You know what I mean? My sister's like, "What's Ozempic?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. Don't like pollute yourself." She's like, "My doctor would say there's no way he would give that to me." I'm like, "Well, come to Los Angeles. You can get it probably at the 7-Eleven.
Are you taking Vicodin? No, I'm taking hydrocodone.
She then admitted that she gave the remainder of her injections to her friends.
That's illegal.
Which is illegal, but she just said that openly. But yeah, you should question it. If your doctor just prescribes you a random drug, you have no idea what it is. Yeah, you should probably ask questions. Yep. And she did also opine that the introduction of Ozempic, even for people who have diabetes, is going to backfire on Hollywood. And nausea is just the beginning of a laundry list of side effects that are sometimes destroying people's lives. Hence the new $2 billion lawsuit that Ozempic is facing right now. So they're facing a sum total of $2 billion in damages from people who have used Ozempic and faced life-threatening consequences. So this includes damage to their teeth because it strips I believe the mucous membranes through your entire body. So your saliva has totally changed its chemistry, which damages your teeth. So people are losing their teeth. People have faced digestive tract issues where at times, basically they have paresis, gastrointestinal paresis. Your gastrointestinal system just stops working. And when you consume food, the food just sits in your stomach, just rotting there instead of getting digested. And they're facing that consequence even after going off of Ozempic. It lasts afterwards, which is terrifying. What Sharon Osbourne had happen to her. Sharon Osbourne lost way too much weight when she was on Ozempic, stopped taking it, and then found she still could not gain the weight back after going off of the drug because of the lasting side effects afterwards. And people are also having spontaneous blindness. People are just waking up one day, not able to see anything, and it stays that way.
I hate it when that happens.
So now this is a total of about 2,000 lawsuits that are already filed in courts in the U.S. against Ozempic that total to $2 billion in damages that they're facing.
Good Lord.
Which is, I mean, let's face it, that's nothing to them.
People should have seen it coming. Like, obviously, there's just not a magic shortcut that's going to fix your problems. Especially not from Big Pharma.
Yep.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
And there are also people you know, trying to couch this and say it, you know, just like about AI, they're like, it's just a tool. One of the comments said, GLP-1s are meant to be used as a tool alongside cardio, strength training, and a healthy diet with lots of protein. It's meant to help lose weight slowly.
People don't usually do the entirety of the plan. When a doctor says, like, take this in conjunction with all of these other things, people usually take the avenue of least resistance when it comes to these things.
Right. And despite what anyone, including Serena Williams, will say, most of the time, the people who are getting prescribed GLP-1s are not people who were already exercising and dieting and watching their food groups, etc. beforehand. Because if they had, they wouldn't have needed the drug. And I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm just saying that it's simple. No. Thermodynamics are a very simple concept.
It also, it plays a role in your self-esteem. It will play a role in your self-esteem, which is that to lose the weight on your own, like through whatever means, whether it's good exercise, usually a good diet plays a huge role in that as well. It requires a certain level of personal sacrifice and attention to detail, which will up your self-esteem. Whereas when you use medication to do it, it ends up harming your self-esteem because you're not getting there naturally.
I think that even if Ozempic did have to pay out this much in damages to patients, it's nothing to them because they've already made, what, $50 billion to begin with. So it's just like, this is the way Big Pharma works.
Yeah.
This is how it operates.
A slap on the wrist compared to the profits that come in for something like this.
Yep.
So, all right. Let's do some super chats.
Corey Anderson said, Phil, what is harder to write, the hook or the verse?
The hook.
Why is that?
Well, because to write a compelling hook that is actually hooky enough to be considered the hook, like it's you can get something that'll sound good, and you might think that it's like really a hook, but it's not really good enough to be a hook that's going to carry the song. You want to have a verse that's kind of hooky. You want to have as many hooks in it, honestly, as possible. So that way, each part that you're going to makes the person anticipate the next part, while at the same time not wanting the part that they're listening to end. Right. So if your verse has a good hook and it builds tension, they want to hear more of that. But then the next part, when your bridge or your pre-chorus comes in, that makes them think, ooh, this is cool, and I can remember it quickly, but they still are kind of still digesting the verse, and you want each one to build, but the most important hook is the chorus. That's the thing that usually happens the most in the song, and so getting it right is tough. It's not easy to do, especially get one compelling, because again, when you're doing it, you'll have something that sounds cool, and you're like, oh, sick, but you don't know that like in 3 months it's going to hit the same. And that's kind of the way that that's the hard part is finding a hook that is the chorus hook that's really going to hit and going to last. So
Shane H. Wilder said, MGK, too dumb to know that probiotics are living bacteria. You boil them and you kill them. They ain't doing ish for you if they're dead.
See, here's the thing, though. Like, it's okay to not know that. Just don't also talk about it.
Like you're some kind of health guru.
Like, I didn't know. I'm too dumb to know that, but I'm not talking about probiotics, so...
Greg Duvier said, every tool that is made, someone will find a way to turn it into a weapon.
That was about AI.
Thank you.
Thank you. The other day I reset the crisis meter, and usually I mute it when I do that. But I was like on my way out, so I was like, sucks to be whoever's gonna be upstairs, but sometimes I forget to turn it back up, so I left it up. But of course I had to come back to grab something, so it went off like right as I was walking by it, so just karma for myself.
That sucks for you.
Yeah.
Junie said, the restaurant part of Cracker Barrel sucks anyway. The old farm equipment and ads on the walls always scared the crap out of me as a kid too. Why am I looking at a rusty, what is it, sieve?
Scythe.
scythe as I eat my fake eggs.
Look, just because you had a traumatic experience at Cracker Barrel growing up doesn't mean that the rest of us God-fearing Americans had such an experience. Like you're just
red-blooded
wrong.
patriots.
That's what Tate probably said.
Yeah.
Look, the rest of us American patriots want Cracker Barrel to have, the rusty farm equipment.
Since when are they using fake eggs? The eggs aren't real?
I don't know, but the food is delicious.
I like the food. And yeah, you're wrong. The restaurant part of Cracker Barrel I like more than the country store, because the country store just sells like weird gummy worms and stuff.
And it's pretty expensive.
And it just has like, I don't even know, like just random crap. But I like their mimosas. I like their beignets. I highly recommend the beignets. Brett is a psychopath who gets meatloaf when he goes to Cracker Barrel.
Every time. It's delicious.
So,
It's good.
That's gross.
Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and macaroni and cheese.
Yep.
Every single time.
It has to be breakfast food. You're someone who doesn't even order breakfast food at Waffle House. Like, that's psycho.
I will sometimes.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
I've seen him order a burger at Waffle House. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
I usually get the bacon grilled cheese.
Interdestined.
So weird.
I get breakfast food if you're at like a regular diner, like a not chain diner.
Honestly, it's more acceptable to get something else at a diner compared to a Waffle House.
No.
Whatever. Do you? Shane H. Wilder said, even Michael Strahan knows she's outside her mind.
Is that who was interviewing her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who?
On Cracker Barrel, yeah.
On Good Morning America. Adam.
I don't watch Good Morning America,
Yeah, I don't
so.
either. Adam said, sadly, she gives me Kathleen Kennedy vibes. She'll boss babe Cracker Barrel to its demise.
I mean, she does. Like, next thing we know, we're going to have a Rachel Zegler Cracker Barrel ad. And No, they're going to put Pedro Pascal as the guy on the Cracker Barrel.
He's the old country man.
He's the old country man in the new one.
Corey Anderson said, stop hiring uggo women to be CEOs. Only beautiful ladies should be on TV. Yeah, they should have. If they were real patriots, they would have brought on Sydney Sweeney to be the new CEO of Cracker Barrel. They would have called it Cracker Boobies. Put Sydney Sweeney's boobies on the wall.
Titty Barrel, yes. All right, let's move on.
If I can compose
We are
myself.
off the rails.
All
Yes,
right.
just deep breath. It's gonna be okay.
So a couple of months ago, we talked about the All-American Rejects becoming cool to Zoomers, which was a really unexpected turn. It's because they started going on a house party tour alongside their arena tour opening for the Jonas Brothers. They were stopping by every city, and you had to be on a list of people that you get a text if they come to your city. They show up at someone's house or a bowling alley or some random venue and put on a show that's free. And people would show up, and it would be basically the only reason Gen Z left the house in their young adulthood. I was kind of heartened to see that, because a lot of Gen Z was commenting on their house party tour saying, like, this is the type of thing that I only saw in movies. And I thought that it was a good idea, and it was good marketing, that's for sure.
Yep.
Now, other people have taken notice, including CEOs of record labels, and they're stealing the idea. MGK has just stolen the house party idea. He performed a backyard show in Columbus, Ohio, celebrating his release of Lost Americana, which is just the most like AI generated album title like ever in 2025. But he performed
fed
one
Lana
of these
Del
house
Rey
parties
and Ethel Cain into a generator, and this is what it gave
It's
him.
like Benson Boonifying MGK. So he has not received any heat from Tyson Ritter, the lead vocalist of All American Rejects, but he did speak out on the fact that big companies such as their former label Interscope, which is MGK's current label, they're taking the idea for their artists in a way that he deems inauthentic. And he said, just to clarify, this is no shade at any artist like MGK. This is more a slight to the big record company machine. that's trying to replicate something that's been entirely organic while ignoring the purpose of it, which isn't to sell music. It's to to close a gap in the economic disparity where big ticket machines that are literally breaking antitrust laws of monopoly are gatekeeping, are being the masters of the entire ecosystem of concerts. So we're building a platform for artists to actually have access to their audience via the kind-hearted backyards of those that might be willing to get in front of their fans at an eye level. That's the conversation we're having here. So if you're at a big record company, quit copy-pasting our idea and do something to help bridge this horrible gap. He also captioned it, "Come on, Interscope, wake up, quit watering down the wine of hope, commodifying off the backs of other artists." So this guy thinks that he invented house parties or something. Like,
I will say though, like when you look at a picture of the band, like the lead singer Tyson Ritter looks like sad Glenn Powell, and the other three guys look like they're like those dudes who are still in their hometown drinking beer outside of like a convenience store at 9 p.m. on a Thursday.
He is being kind of obnoxious because he's an artist. He uses flowery language like watering down the wine of hope. But he does have some bona fides to speak on this topic because he's still at an indie label. He's not at Interscope anymore. The All American Rejects is under Epitaph Records. MGK is under Interscope, which is a subsidiary of Universal Music Group run by Lucian Grange. So I just want to show this reel. This is how I found out about this. They were covering this, and this guy is talking about how MGK's record label, not MGK himself, but the bigwigs at these companies are ruining the DIY nature of punk rock itself, and this needs to be rejected at all costs.
It needs to be all American rejected.
All American rejected, yeah.
We're entering a new phase of like the suit and tie part of the music industry, trying to capitalize and ruin something that's been DIY since the dawn of time. I'm gonna show you a video, but really quick for some context. We all know that the All American Rejects have been like bringing back the house show, right? And it's super raw and it's super organic and it's really fun. All of a sudden, MGK is doing the same thing. Before I go any further, we f with MGK, okay? This isn't about MGK. It's about massive mainstream record labels trying to make a profit. So Tyson Ritter, the singer of the Rejects, posted this on his story last night.
To clarify, this is no shade at any artist like MGK. This is more a slight to this big record company machine that's trying to replicate something that's been entirely organic while ignoring the purpose of it.
You can check out the full video on idobi.com or on his stories if it's still up. But there's a lot of shit that I want to say. At this exact moment, it might not seem like a huge deal, but we are opening the floodgates to a very slippery slope here. House shows are literally the soul and foundation of DIY. Do it yourself, bro. What is more do it yourself than doing it at your house? We have watched Live Nation infiltrate borderline every part of the music industry except for house shows. 10 or 15 years ago, Live Nation primarily only owned massive sized venues like arenas and amphitheaters, pretty much anything over 5 to 10,000 cap. But when you're talking about a DC or even maybe B-level mid-tier band that are playing 800 or 500 to 2,000 cap venues, they were still able to do it in a DIY or locally owned venue. And when corporations like Live Nation saw that this was like a really profitable market for the bands, they went in and bought up every club and bar in your city. So now these bands that are making $300 a night are having to give a merch cut to Live Nation. Where I'm getting bent out of shape is what's going on with the house shows if we've got Interscope or Atlantic or Sony involved in that shit. Because they're going to figure out how to make a buck. There's a bunch of dudes in suits somewhere looking at something that is wholesome and pure and DIY and saying, how can we make money off of this? I would not be surprised if a company like Live Nation started buying Airbnbs to be able to ticket and staff a show in a backyard. We can't let that happen. Not for the bands or for the fans. I don't mean to be dramatic, or maybe I do, but if we let house shows become a corporate entity, music as we know it will die. We gotta hold on to what's punk while we can.
That was hyperbolic.
This kid's a moron.
So wait, you said that DIY is not the heart and soul.
No, house shows are not are not the heart and soul. Like,
Oh, okay.
it's like VFWs, skate parks. When people are putting on like DIY shows, they don't do them in houses. Like that was like I don't think I ever played a house show, and we played all of the DIY stuff that you can imagine. We played in bookstores. We played in VFWs, skate parks. We've set up in the middle of half pipes as a metal band, right? Like that's the way that it goes. You go out and you play with hardcore bands, with punk bands, metal bands. You play these places.
Yeah.
The idea that it was house shows, I mean, that was never particularly common. This was a marketing thing for like from day one. It wasn't some kind of like
for Epitaph Records.
Yeah, it wasn't some kind of organic.
Which is owned by the guitarist from Bad Religion.
Yeah, this kid is maybe he believes what he's saying, but he's wrong.
I agreed with your take when we originally talked about the house party tour, that obviously it's not about like reigniting like the heart of like, you know, rock music or whatever. It's like obviously a promotional tour for the tour they were about to go on with the Jonas Brothers. In arenas. They were trying to do basically a guerrilla marketing campaign, and it worked. And that's fine, and everyone had fun, and I didn't like that he was trying to act like he's above charging people for his performances when you're literally going on a tour with the Jonas Brothers right after this. Yeah. We have a 20, by the way, from Balian. Shout out to Mandy Summers and Dale Keon launching the Pit Trade paperback tomorrow. F the haters trying to sabotage this project. Hope to see you on Ballers, Brett.
On Friday. It depends on what time I get home, but it's one of those things where whenever they do that, I never ask Mandy for the link to the live stream. I always send a super chat as like my mating call to the guys over there. I say, here's $5, here's $10, and then they send me the link. So maybe I'll stop by on Friday night. I love those guys.
By the way, since Tyson Ritter wants to act like he's above charging people to see his shows, I should mention that he has an OnlyFans.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. I thought that was a joke post. That's actually real. And he did an interview where he explained his decision to start his OnlyFans with GQ.
Some schmuck in the chat just said Phil's gatekeeping hard. How am I gatekeeping? Because I'm saying that people that house shows were never really a big thing.
What does that mean?
I don't know what it means. I don't know at all. Like people just type words that they have no idea.
You're trying to keep it a secret.
Yeah, right. What kind of idiocy?
Phil secretly does a house show every Friday night.
In this GQ interview, they said, in the spirit of communing with fans, sans traditional gatekeeping and ticketing websites, the band is launching a new online presence on the subscription-based social platform OnlyFans, whose association with a different kind of intimacy is something we're well aware of. Tyson Ritter is a little secretive about precisely what people can expect from the All-American Rejects OnlyFans page, which is free to join and at press time nudity-free. But he is bullish on what he thinks OnlyFans can do for the band's relationship with its audience. Quote, I think most people don't realize that OnlyFans was a product of the pandemic that started as Patreon for artists, and then it was infiltrated by a genre that made it become a bit of a trope.
No, Patreon was Patreon for artists.
Yeah, and plenty of others as well. It's a platform that's offering an experience where the artist can set the price, and it's artists to fans. There's no middleman. There's no subscription costs unless that artist chooses to do that. That seems like a good thing. You're an idiot. What do you think OnlyFans exists for?
Literally, OnlyFans is the middleman.
Are you dumb?
They're the middlemen because it's a lot of people.
OnlyFans,
middle women too.
Do you think like the CEO of OnlyFans just runs it to be a nice guy, or because he gets a cut of every OnlyFans creator's money from usually porn? Yeah. You're dumb. What?
Yeah. I mean, they've been.
I mean, thing I've ever heard.
OnlyFans was trying to pivot for a long time. I'm guessing because they wanted to raise more investor capital and get away from porn, and they realized it was never going to work.
He said,
if he wanted to beat those allegations, he shouldn't have made the announcement with a shirtless photo.
Right. It's nice to be supported in this wild adventure of 2025. The last 3 weeks, I don't think anybody would have expected the All-American Rejects to make a ripple ever again. And the excitement behind this whole thing is like, where else can we be disruptive? We've always been a band who's got a tongue bursting through the cheek when it comes to our music. So why not do a little peen bursting through a zipper?
Well, okay.
What did I just read?
Yeah.
Peen bursting? What?
You know, it's one thing to talk about artistic purity when you then have to start the OnlyFans.
And they asked, what can people expect from your OnlyFans? And he said, they can expect full frontal rock and roll with all access.
Oh my God.
I mean, why don't they just start a Patreon?
When asked what that means exactly, he said, I'll leave it to the vagueness of that statement to define itself.
I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be something, because otherwise they just have a Patreon.
Oh my gosh. No, he's going to be peen bursting.
Of course.
Through the zipper.
He's going to show off his junk.
Yeah, so, you know, they had me in the first half, right? I was like, this is cool. They're like throwing these house parties, getting young people out of their houses off of TikTok. They're finally interacting with other people in real life. That seems like a positive impact, but he ruined it.
Shane the Liver says, move along to Fansley.
Oh, dark. Yeah, Tyson Ritter kind of just ruined everything that I actually initially was optimistic about. My optimism gone.
True artistic integrity is to be peen bursting, not playing venues, large venues.
Yeah.
You know, Live Nation wouldn't, stop me from peen bursting. That's what he was telling me.
Okay.
They would ask for a cut of my peen bursting merch sales.
Let's get into the super chats. Arsenal Man said, I bet this B word is the one who took the shredded chicken burrito off the Taco Bell menu.
It's probably her fault.
They have been up to some weird stuff over at Taco Bell. Like, they've definitely raised the prices. I maintain that Taco Bell is still the most affordable fast food because the other places are just so insane. You said you spent $12 on a meal at Burger King.
To be fair, we were at like a rest stop Burger King, which is already, it's like going to an airport Burger King. You're going to pay more there already, but it was very expensive. It was more than that because Olivia got something as well. So it's just like, you're breaking the freaking bank.
Also, the meta with fast food right now is specialty beverages instead of food items because it's cheaper for
Purple
them.
Baja Blast.
Right. Yeah, I got that notification in my Taco Bell app that was like, for your birthday, you can get a free Baja Blast. And I'm like, this is a joke.
Weak.
Pop Culture Junkie, Skate Man 2010 said, just FYI, we got an In-N-Out, Whataburger, White Castle, Culver's, all here in Phoenix.
You kind of got it made.
Damn. Well, I guess that's the trade-off for living in the desert. Daniel Jagger said the DEI initiatives are to get on the good side of lenders and financiers. There's a good episode Tucker did with a former Bud Light exec explaining this.
Yeah.
The ESG score. A lot of people were comparing Julie to the chick over at Bud Light on the marketing department who decided to do the Dylan Mulvaney partnership. But it's actually worse in this case because the buck stops with Julie and she has to take the fall. 200 Watt Studio said, corporate apologist Mary. All corporations have been doing it though. Well, they have. That's a fact.
In relation to what?
All corporations have been choosing the minimalist aesthetic in both their brick and mortar locations and their logos for years at this point.
It's awful.
It's been going on. Like, that is a fact. 200 Watt Studio said, Mary's hoping Cracker Barrel name changes to CBs. No, I'm not.
There's a couple of examples right there.
Yeah, this is a well-known phenomenon.
Yeah, it's the worst.
All the brands are doing it. Greg Duvier said, Mary wished she got a Labubu for her birthday. Definitely not. If someone gave me a Labubu for my birthday, I would burn it in fire. Like, immediately. I don't want that demonic energy.
She would actually light the person on fire.
No comment. Pop Culture Junkie said, you missed my $20 super chat. Apologies. We did get to it. Sorry, though. 200 Watt Studio said, what are the odds that Megan gave birth to 3 trans kids? Yeah, it's quite an anomaly. I think, didn't she just like make her sons wear girls' clothes? She didn't ever say that they were like trans.
That's what I remember, but
it was bad enough. Yeah. Robbie Starbuck said that he interacted with her kids on the playground because they lived in the same gated community in LA, and that he saw them complaining to the nanny about how they were forced to wear girls' clothes. Yeah. I can't imagine he would just make that up for clout.
I don't know why you would.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, it's just...
Especially as a parent himself.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, nothing wrong with her adopting. That's a good thing, but I am curious if she is doing it because of infertility or for more egocentric reasons.
I mean, part of it, I mean, again, there's 3 paths there. There's infertility, there's egocentrism, but there's also just, I guess it goes hand in hand with with putting your career first, which is like, yes, one of them could be for your own because you don't want your body to change and then have to be Serena Williams and hawk row semaglutide. But the other one is just like she's in prime earning years for herself right now in Hollywood and she doesn't want to interrupt that. But she does want to have a family.
But also adopting a child either way, like that is going to take a lot of time because you're just raising your child unless you hire other people to do that, which plenty of them do.
They do.
But yeah, nothing wrong with adopting. That's not at all what I meant to say. If it sounded like that, it's a great thing when people adopt. And I wish that it would be more common compared to surrogacy, especially among celebrities.
Well, it's because they make it so hard to adopt.
For normal people, but no celebrity would have an issue getting approved for adoption. That's for sure. Pop Culture Junkie said, I'm a big fan of Cody. She went from copywriter to stripper to winning an Academy Award to being a showrunner. I think a lot of her non-Juno work is highly underrated. Yeah, I liked Jennifer's Body. I liked Juno. She's great. I didn't actually know that she was a stripper before that interview.
Neither did I.
It's quite a story. Grant said White Castle should just play black metal.
I love White Castle.
In the restaurant. Shane H.
Only
Wilder.
if it's Emperor.
Shane H. Wilder said, you're right about the new Crusade, Phil. Mea culpa. Can we liberate them while eating Catholic burgers and blasting The Last Stand by Sabaton?
I mean, we could do this. We could do this.
We have the technology.
We have the AR-15s.
ILIKM Low said, I always hear someone chirp about Michael Bay being hard to work with, but he's always working with the same people. If it's so bad, why do they keep saying yes when he calls?
Yeah, why would you lie about somebody as incredible as Michael Bay?
But that's the point. Like, if he's working with the same people, those are the few people he can get along with.
No, those are the ones that like his working style. And,
the ones that he can get along with.
And
or the few that put up with him.
It is a director's job to not coddle you. It's not a director's job to hold your hand or to tell you everything is going to be okay. It's their job to get you into the right mental headspace to deliver the lines that need to be delivered. And that's on top of the fact that the guy used unbelievably complex camera setups because he has to do a stupid 360 camera shot. He has to shoot everything at 120 frames a second. And let's face it, I rewatched the original Transformers recently. Go rewatch it, especially in lieu of what happened with Cracker Barrel. You need some American military porn to really get you back in the spirit. You know, by the time you're done watching it, you should be asking which country we're going to invade next.
Although, hearing about Megan Fox being asked to dance in a bikini when she was 15 by Michael Bay.
The ages didn't line up with that movie, so we'd have to look into that further because it was like Bad Boys, which was 1995, or
it was it was Bad Boys 2.
90
when she was 15.
Yeah. I mean, but that's okay. No, Bad Boys 2 was 97, right? Or was it somebody can
Bad Boys 1 was 95.
Bad Boys 2 was 2003. So yeah, that lines up age-wise, probably.
Yeah, the problem on set was that because she was underage, they couldn't have her in a scene holding a drink at a bar.
But she can dance.
But of course she can dance in a bikini under a waterfall at that age. And then when she told that story in an interview, like on some, I think it was on Jimmy Kimmel. This was before Jimmy Kimmel like cleaned up his act and started acting like a good liberal man. He was like, "Oh, well, we all wanted to see that, huh?" And then everyone in the audience was like, "Yeah, like we love like child sex labor." Weird stuff.
I will say that Michael Bay making supposedly a new Transformers movie. I'm right there. I'll watch it. Bring Shia LaBeouf. Bring Shia LaBeouf back. And if you can't get Megan Fox, I'll be okay with bringing back Rosie Huntington Whiteley or whatever her name. She did like one acting role and then got like hitched to Jason Statham. And
she was in
not even hitched, but
Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, like it was like that and in Transformers 3, and that was like the only acting credit she ever had.
Chris L said, in regards to being an expert at 10,000 hours, you're not counting show prep and post, so maybe experts at episode 2000?
Maybe.
I guess so. Yeah.
I suppose.
But if we just count stuff that's on camera, it's going to take us a
because
long
that's
time.
when you kind of get. But for me, it's like one of those things where I look at what they do every day, like whether it's Jimmy Kimmel or a Stephen Colbert. Do you think they have days where they feel like they did less good? Because it's all the same slop all the time. Like, are they like, wow, I didn't really hit that note right. I didn't really read that the way I wanted to. There are days where I feel like I do this job perfectly okay, I guess. And then there are days where I feel like I look like I've never talked on camera a moment before in my life. And I'm kind of shocked sometimes why it doesn't ever feel like you feel like you've improved. Maybe it's just because you're hard on yourself, or maybe it's because you're just not cut out for it, Brett.
I bet the late night hosts definitely
think so?
Have off days like that. Rural Conservative sent us a 20. A few nights ago, I had a weird dream. Mary was hosting the show while operating a locomotive. She was unalived when her train was T-boned by another train. I was really shook up until I realized it was a dream.
Wait,
trains T-boning each other?
So trains can diverge off paths in different directions, but I don't think they just run one track right after the other. Whoever the robber baron was that laid those tracks down during the Industrial Revolution was a psychopath.
Wow. I don't know if I should be worried about my future. I'm going to be careful when I'm driving now. Grant said, why didn't he date her sister if he wanted skinny?
Is Venus particularly skinny?
I don't know.
Maybe Venus was already married.
Shane H. Wilder said, if Marky Mark bought Red Robin and made it Catholic, would it be just switch the bird and make it cardinal? I think that's a good start.
The copper cardinal.
The Manic Mustache said, I need a shout out for my new tablets for babies. I know Mary would approve of Baby's first 10 commandments. They come in granite and slate. Idea for improving any newborn's upper body strength. Stay toxic, my friends.
So you're gonna get stone tablets for the babies with the 10 commandments? That's better than a digital tablet.
That I approve of.
So, and here's your person of interest reference for the day. There's actually a storyline in season 4 where the AI Samaritan invests in a company called like this guy who's making like a one tablet for every child in the state of New York to make sure that they can get those tablets in front of children from a young age so that they can start collecting data and influencing them.
Well, it's real.
Yep.
Yeah, predictive programming. 200 Watt Studio said handler had Ozempic. I'm not even going to say that. Brian Bledsoe said, I may have a problem. F1 has only one showtime today. I'm going to see it again, this time in Screen X format.
I don't even know is Screen X? Is Screen X format supposed to be some type of like premium large format, or is that like your location's version of like 4DX?
Screen X.
Sounds cool though. Props to the guy who named it.
It says a panoramic film format that presents movies in an expanded dual-sided 270-degree viewing experience projected onto the walls of a theater auditorium.
That
with
sounds
an
wild.
immersive environment that surrounds the viewer.
I bet you the race scenes will look wild.
That's
while
cool.
doing that. So that's very cool. Yeah, if you guys haven't, I know it's not really out in many places left, but you should go see F1. It was the best movie of the summer by far.
No Control said Ozempic is a good alternative to insulin for type 2 diabetes and as an alternative to gastro bypass for morbid obesity. Otherwise, it's not worth the risks.
Well, okay, so yeah, so the thing I mentioned to Mary beforehand is like, is there a way for a law to be enforced so that doctors can't give it off-label prescription, right? Because it was originally meant as a drug for diabetics.
Right.
So we don't want to stop the diabetics from getting it. And in fact, one of the things that they were talking about was that once the drug exploded in popularity, people who needed it for their diabetes weren't able to get their hands on it because it was being prescribed widely for off-label use. I mean, yeah. What do you think about the idea of it being the better alternative for a morbidly obese person rather than gastric bypass?
I mean, usually the problem with, I'm not like some kind of expert, but like usually I thought the problem with gastric bypass surgeries is that you get it and then you don't change your lifestyle habits and you just need to get multiple.
Yes.
And that's also the problem with Ozempic is that you go on Ozempic and you don't change any of your habits, your mentality, and then you'll just be on it forever, or you'll go off of it and just go back to your original weight because you never made the lifestyle changes. So it seems like it has a similar issue.
Vinny Doom Gamer in the chat says, bring back Tim. Tim should be
We
back.
can't.
We can't.
Tim's not on PCC.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I think he means just bring Tim back in general, but Tim can't come back right
He's
now.
sick.
He'll be back next week.
People are like, bring Tim back. How about let Tim get well?
Yeah.
Let Tim get himself back.
Do you think we're hiding Tim from you as
We're
a
like-
personal
That's what we're
attack?
doing.
We have him chained up in the warehouse.
we have him chained up, and we're doing it just to bum you out, specifically you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Stefan Buttle said, at Phil, what the hook gonna be?
What the hook gonna be? I mean, I don't know.
Like he would tell you.
That whole description you gave earlier for like the difference between the hook and the. Do you have an example of the perfect song for that formula?
So for us, some of the songs that I think are our best songs, like I really think Divine off the new record really was great at building tension. Each consecutive part build tension, and then the chorus really delivered, and then the second verse was still the same riffs and similar to the first verse, but it built on that, and again it built and then delivered. I also think that 2 Weeks is really, really good. I think that's why 2 Weeks did such a great stuff for us, is because each consecutive part had a hook in it, but it built throughout the whole thing. Like there's something about drums that have when it's just a snare kind of keeping the beat first before you bring the whole thing in, and both Divine and 2 Weeks do that. You've got a build with the snare. So if you're interested in kind of examples of that, at least from All That Remains perspective, I think you should check out Divine in 2 Weeks.
I like Divine a lot.
Thank you.
DCNC said, Phil bro, hypothetical. You have to choose an orchestral instrument to record a new song with your band. What is your pick?
An orchestral instrument.
Yeah.
I mean, I like violin.
Okay, that's
I
a good choice.
I like the strings generally. But yeah, I think maybe cello because we're kind of tuned down deep, but I think violin would be cool.
Grant said they'll listen to All American Rejects and make fun of Weezer. Who?
People.
Who's making fun of Weezer? Flack McFay said there's nothing wrong with GAP1 agonists. I don't know.
I'm guessing it's GLP-1.
What isn't? Okay. Problem is it's over prescribed, not just in number but dose as well. It's not like I think there's something morally wrong with it. It's just unwise, in my opinion. No Control said, have a show in a van down by the river.
Yeah.
I bet Tim would love that. Pat the Plumber said, I'm going to see Scissor Fights. Last 2 ever shows in venues Phil probably played 20 years ago. Shashkeen and Stone Church, LFG.
Have a good time, man. Have a good time.
Big Dave said, "Can I get a hell yeah from Phil? Retired today."
Hell yeah, man.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Congrats. 200 Watt Studio said, "I admit a Baja Blast is better than a Peen Burst."
Well, if you had to choose between the two, I guess I'd take the Baja Blast as well.
Right. Shane H. Wilder said, "Anyone have the Taco Bell Dulce de Leche Cinnabon Delights? They're fire. Highly recommend." No,
Y'all
I
just
haven't.
be experimenting. I get the same thing every time.
I
get
want
Doritos
those.
Locos Tacos and a cheesy gordita crunch or a Crunch Wrap Supreme.
I really want Taco Bell right now. I'm so hungry.
Or they don't have the double decker taco anymore, but they have like the double stack taco, which is kind of similar.
James Codoridis said, "Happy Thrashing Thursday, Crisis Actors. Phil, given the news that Megadeth is hanging it up, which Megatune would you love to cover? Stay metal."
I like Hook and Mouth a lot.
Hanging it up? What's going on?
Yeah, they're putting out their last record and then they're gonna call it a day. I mean, Dave is in his 60s and it's getting tough for him. He had cancer. He had throat cancer a couple years back and he beat it, but they actually have to tune down now and they do he doesn't have the same vocal range and playing that kind of stuff is hard, like especially metal, right? Like there is an upper limit on how long you can play those kind of aggressive riffs and particularly that kind of aggressive drumming, and same thing with aggressive vocals and stuff. And even though Dave's not screaming the way some other metal bands are, it still takes its toll on it. So he's made a boatload of money. His family's got money. They're set. His kids are set. So he's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna stop doing it now because I don't want to. And who knows? Maybe they will come back. Bands tend to do that. I mean, the guys in Kiss are pushing 80, and I
can't
think
sit still, so they got to go work, right?
What?
Like I'm sure they just don't want to sit still. When you get used to doing it for that long, you don't want to. Just because you're financially secure for them doesn't mean they don't feel the. That's kind of what I imagine it's like when music is a calling and it's something you really like to do, and you get up on stage and you're in front of an audience. It's something that you have a hard time letting go of.
Absolutely. So.
Pop Culture Junkie said, "Candy Girl, a year in the life of an unlikely stripper is Cody's book. It's a quick read and well worth it." I might get around to that someday, but I don't know if it's really my thing. Bender McSimpson said, "Philip, I read that you were almost the singer of Killswitch Engage. Is that true? All that remains and Killswitch should do a tour. Just a thought."
I love the guys in Killswitch Engage. I was almost the singer at Killswitch Engage. It was actually down to me and Howard. And Howard came in at the last minute and stole my job.
No.
No, I mean I love the guys, but yeah, I did try out for Killswitch when Jesse left, and that was in like 2002. So and like I said, it was down to me. I was the I've known both Howard and I have known those guys for ages, right? Like I played in a band with Joel and with Adam called Aftershock. I played guitar in that band in the very, very late 90s. Before when I started All That Remains, I was screwing around just playing guitar with those guys too, because it was just for fun. But yeah, I tried out for the band and I would have got the job if Howard didn't come in and absolutely smash it out of the park. So
that's so interesting to think about the butterfly effect, like that, how much that would have just changed your life trajectory.
Yeah, but I mean, look, it's not like at the time, sure, it was a kick in the nuts to not get the job, but at the same time, it's like, both Killswitch and All That Remains have had massively successful careers, and so it's not like something where I'm just like, man, if only I woulda, it's like we both had great careers since. So
Shane H. Wilder said, "We go big or go home with the Crusade. Texas company Empty Shell has a handheld version of the Pew Pew from the A10 Warthog, 6,000 rounds a minute."
Nice. You need to think about what you're talking about, though. 6,000 rounds a minute. Who's gonna carry them bullets? Because those ain't light.
Maybe some Optimus bots could do that. We have a 20 from Willem. Phil, you
thank you.
Thank you. Phil, you left me behind on a On Tuesday, brother, I tried to glaze Sleep Token, Gethsemane. Mary beat me down. I was saying thank you for mentioning them and leading me to discover that song which captures so much emotion.
Sleep Token is good, no matter what anyone says.
Well, you're wrong, and that's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. Yeah, I was hating on them a lot. Adam said, "When do we march, Phil? I've been thinking about the Crusades recently, plus loved the movie Kingdom of Heaven."
Well, first, you have to go to the UK, right?
Are the Crusades for these people the way that some people think about the Roman Empire?
Could be.
It's like me, like lately, with anything to do with like 90s domestic terrorism in America, because so much of the movies and television shows that I grew up with use those instances as backdrops for character stories, and I never really looked into them. So I didn't really look into Waco or Ruby Ridge or Oklahoma City or any of that stuff until like very recently. And I think all of it is very fascinating because I see a lot of story ideas and themes that went into a lot of movies that seem to have come out of real life events that were going on at that time.
Donovan Jones said, "Brett, have you seen The Pretender or Early Edition?"
Okay, so Early Edition, I loved growing up. I probably wouldn't be able to tell you a storyline, but I have fond memories of it playing when I was young, late night on TV, when I probably was supposed to be asleep. I did start The Pretender last year, and I got through the first 2 seasons, and I should have kept going, but I kind of fell off, and I don't know if it's still on Amazon Prime, but that actor, it's like Michael T. Weiss or whatever, he's great. He was kind of meant for that. And if you really think about it, the dude from Early Edition, which is it's what's his name, the dude from Friday Night Lights, not Bryan Cranston, the other Brian, the guy who's going to be in Lanterns, he's had a massively successful career considering Early Edition was like the early 90s. What is that guy's name? Somebody in the chat's probably said it already. Brian something. But yeah, that guy's great.
No Control said, "Let You Go is my fave on the new album. Wish I had learned that lesson sooner in my life. Now I know it's time to bounce when in that situation."
Yes. Get out of there.
The next one is from Greg Duvier, but it's your song lyrics, so do you wanna read it for us?
Where is it? I don't bring it up.
It was sent a while back, but it was
I don't have the link to the thingy. Let's see.
I don't want to.
Kyle Chandler. I'm sorry, not Brian. Kyle Chandler was the guy's name, the actor's name.
Oh,
not Brian. Sorry.
Bender McSimpson.
Greg Duvier says, "Divine, detach from desire, accept and inspire. Divine, breathe in, breathe out, because now it's on your hands." There you go, buddy.
What is it supposed to mean?
So
unless you don't want to explain because you don't like explaining.
Yeah,
things.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, but like the thing when we were writing that song, it was like this is the first song that we wrote like after COVID. And I was like, I want something that inspires people to do good things. I want something that inspires people to kind of like, go out and try and put effort into things. And so like the thing I was thinking about is like, you know how like they talk about like when you're in the zone, like people are in the zone when they're like really good at something and you're firing on all cylinders and everything is just like falling into place. So that's kind of just like what the feeling is supposed. They're trying to encapsulate that feeling. So
in skating, that was called being juiced.
Juiced, yep.
Bender McSimpson said, "Philip, explain to Brett and Mary why Sleep Token is awesome." Brett likes Sleep Token.
Like, what am I getting
I'm
blamed?
the hater.
How am I catching shrapnel on this bullshit? This isn't my fault.
I'm the Sleep Token hater here.
When it goes in your ears, it sounds good.
It's so bad.
It's not.
Tate was on my side about this. We both agree that it's just the new Imagine Dragons.
That's completely ridiculous.
Okay, you can think that.
But it doesn't sound anything like Imagine Dragons. Like musically, sonically, they sound nothing like the vibe. The way they dressed, is that what brings to mind
like,
Imagine Dragons? This is an absurd comparison.
They're occupying the same like cultural space for a new time.
They're popular and big.
It's just not something that can be articulated. It's just
That's because
you know
it's
it
called,
when you see it.
That's because it's
like
absurd and ridiculous.
You know it when you see it.
The idea that they're like Imagine Dragons, or that they are in any way similar to Imagine
Similarly cringy.
Do You Wish That You Loved Me is a great song. It's fantastic.
The similarity is, I think it begins and ends with the fact that you don't like them, or you don't like either of them. They don't sound alike at all sonically. They don't write similar types of songs at all. Like, the song structures they use are completely different. Vessel sounds nothing like the singer. Their imagery set is nothing like Imagine Dragons. The comparison is based on vibes from you and Tate. That's it. There's nothing that makes them similar at all.
I'm just saying, the Zoomers aren't into it. They're not.
I mean, clearly someone is, because they're selling out arenas.
When I look at their socials, like, all of the comments are just from like thirsty women who have weird mask fetishes. And I'm like, I see what you're doing. I see what this is about. DCNC said, "What you naming the specials at Titty Barrel?" I don't know. The eggs are like Sydney Sweeney's eggs. Corey Anderson said, "How is Sarah doing?"
She's doing well. She's doing very well. We're doing the every other week visits to the doctor. I think not next week, or well, there should be a doctor's appointment next week. We'll go next weekend, not next week, but the following doctor's appointment. We'll get the next sonogram, so we'll get to look at his little face. He is positioned correctly. He's head down already, so that's good. Means that when he kicks, he's shoving Sarah's up here and
her lungs.
Yeah, she's like, last night. I love her so much. Poor girl couldn't sleep at all because she's like, she's just fighting with the pillow and fighting. She can't get comfortable because she's got this kid in her belly that just won't stop moving half the time. So, but she's doing well. Everything's perfectly normal, and we're all very happy. Thank you for asking.
Waffle Sensei said, "Guys, it's the Cantina chicken tacos and the nacho gordita crunch." What about him? Like, they're good. Stefan Buttle said, "My local Taco Bells suck. Always ask me to reverse when I pull up to the drive-thru to game the system of making the food in a timely fashion." That is so annoying.
What do they do?
So they know that corporate keeps track of the time, the turnover for their food at the drive-thru. So when they know they're not going to be able to make it fast enough, they either tell you to pull up into a parking space or reverse back so that the camera doesn't sense someone's at the window.
I would rather they tell me to reverse back than go to the parking
That was
space,
some bullshit. Next time that anyone at a fast food restaurant asks me to do that, I'm just not going to do it. I'm sorry.
You're just like, "I'm sorry,
No.
I can't do that.
No.
I'm going to wait right here, thanks."
That's what the drive-thru is for. You drive through it.
When they tell you to pull up, be like, "Tick tock, tick tock."
Yeah.
Just say that. Be
What
like,
do they think is going to happen? The CEO is going to show up and be like, "I've been seeing your numbers."
I mean, yeah, maybe not the CEO, but have you seen the meme that was going around for a while of the guy who's just downing the clear liquor in the car? It says, like, when they call me back for the third job interview and they're like, "It's a fast food job." Like, that market is nuts right now.
Crazy. DCNC said, "Yo, Phil, you got cut off saying something about the Crusades and going to the UK. Care to expand?"
Yeah, I was saying that we should go to the UK. We should gather up the boys. We can actually start off in this place called Calais, right? And then head over the English Channel and land somewhere around Dover. Take over the UK. They don't have any guns, so it'll be fine. And there's a lot of dudes will be greeted as liberators, and a lot of dudes that will join us. Then we can rally up the boys in the UK and get the blessing from the king, the leader of the Church of England. And then we can head on down to Jerusalem and take that back.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
That is the one-state solution right there.
Yeah, that's right. The one-state solution.
Shane H. Wilder said, "As a Catholic male, I think of the Crusades a lot. They were very based, contrary to what modern history would have you believe. I'm always down."
They the way that the Crusades are portrayed nowadays really does a disservice to the true history of what it was. Like, the idea that it was just the English deciding that they're going to go and and gather up a bunch of people and go and attack for no reason was BS. So
We have a 20 from Rad Lobster Co. Howdy, longtime listener, BIL. I don't know what that means. BIL was recently injured. Outside of helping with the businesses while he can't work, can you shout out his GoFundMe? Help Emmanuel heal and support his family. Keep up all the good works. Prayers.
Might be brother-in-law.
Oh, I suppose it might mean brother-in-law.
I mean, if you can post the link in here, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you can post it in the chat.
Fender McSimpson said, sorry for tossing shrapnel at you, Brett. My bad.
Yeah, man, this wasn't my fault.
Didn't deserve that.
I didn't deserve this.
Shane H. Wilder said, and remember, Phil, the original Crusades had men who would carry a huge cross. They can carry the ammo and the huge cross.
Maybe a cross made of ammo.
Look, I'm not a Luddite, so I think that we can get robots or machines to carry the ammo. So,
No Control said, I agree with both. Sleep Token, good quality music, odd vibe. I disagree with the good music part. Adam said, give us a brief history of how the Crusades started. We do not have time for that right now. Corey Anderson said, is anyone surprised that a diversity band hasn't been created with every member a different race and sexual orientation? What would they be called? I say woke with a backwards E. Omega Red Fan said, I lost my Kill Switch Engaged t-shirt in the All That Remains mosh pit. True story.
Nice. Sorry to hear that you lost the shirt, though.
200 Watt Studio said, poached Sweeneys are my favorite.
In the chat to is it Rad Lobster Co. for the 20? Was it from River Chimosa in that organized it? Because I found one here. I just want to make sure that it's the right one. I don't want to post it if it's the wrong one, but I will look at this later at the very least. So sorry, I don't know for sure.
From High Voltage 75, call me crazy, but I wouldn't want to piss off people handling my food, especially if I can't see it. I know that there's always the risk of that, but like, I don't know. I don't think that Taco Bell employees are regularly spitting in people's food. That's a little crazy. Bud said, women in combat to carry nothing but ammo. I don't think that women could carry much ammo without complaining, at least.
No. There's a reason that squires were boys, right? Like they were carrying the knight's weapons. They were young men. They weren't having women.
There were some hilarious memes that came out after after Major League Baseball employed their first female umpire, where it was like female umpire ejects player for something he did in a dream last night. There were some great ones. It was really, really good. There's one more there.
Is there? I'm not seeing it.
From Willem says, Titty Barrel hits. Mary, I'm praising the lyrics from the ST song. Named after the garden Tate. I know you're watching and hating. Oh, there's a period there. I'm sorry, I can barely see it. It says...
Yeah.
What's the ST song? I'm already confused.
Sleep Token.
Oh, okay.
Means that. But yeah, I don't like their lyrics either, or their lore, because the lore sounds really like demonic and weird. Like this whole thing about how they're making music for this like deity called sleep. Like I don't like that. I just think it's cringy. Like I just think that it's cringe and the music isn't good. I would admit if the music were good and I still like didn't want to listen to it for that reason, but are we all caught up on the super chats? Because I'm not seeing any more on my end.
Pop Culture Junkie says, exceptionally entertaining show today.
Thank you.
Wow.
And Shane H. Wilder says, if you want to know about the Crusades, there is a YouTube channel that covers every battle in great detail. Well, thank you for letting us know.
You didn't mention
You didn't mention the name of the channel, but...
Do we have any Rumble rants?
No, we're good.
Okay.
All right.
We're all caught up then.
We are. Guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already, please and thank you. Phil, where can they find you?
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. You can follow me there. You can follow the band All That Remains on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, Deezer, and YouTube. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived. You can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived. And I'm going to be making an appearance on Timcast IRL this evening. So go tune in over there.
Perfect. Shane H. Wilder says, it's called Real Crusades History.
Thanks
There
for
you go.
the shout out.
All right. If you guys would like to follow me, I am on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than just watch this show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, so that helps us out a lot. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook at PopCultureCrisis, Instagram at PopCultureCrisisPod. Guys, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.